Yo, this is Set with Saying Comedian, man. I'm back with another one for you guys. Today we're about to get into this Donald Trump and Elon Musk interview. This is going to be epic, guys. Let's get into it.
Let's go. Make sure to like the video.
Okay.
Book in a normal way. And when there's an adversarial interview, like no one's themselves in an adversarial interview. So this is really aimed at kind of open-minded, independent voters who just trying to make up their mind. So you can understand like what is what is it just like to have a conversation? So a great conversation yesterday, as you mentioned yesterday, if we could just record that conversation and post it, it would have been excellent. And I hope we can have something like that today.
Well, I think we will. I'm pretty sure we will. And congratulations, because I see you broke every record in the book with so many millions of people. And it's an honor. We view that as an honor. And then you do want silencing of certain voices. Usually those are voices that have something to say that are constructive, oftentimes constructive. And so we have to consider it an honor. But congratulations on breaking every record in the book tonight. That's great.
Well, thank you. Well, I mean, maybe we could start off with, the assassination attempt, which was an incredible thing. And I have to say that, your actions after that assassination attempt were inspiring. You, instead of shying away from things, instead of ducking down, you were pumping your fist in the air and saying, fight, fight, fight. And I think that's, the president of the United States represents America, and I think that is America. That is strength under fire, and so that's a big part of the reason why I was excited to endorse you as the president of the United States for having another term here. Is that was just incredibly inspiring. But I mean, what was it like for you?
Not pleasant. I have to be honest. I said there was blood. I had more blood. I didn't know I had that much blood. The doctors later told me that the ear is a place that is a very bloody place if you're going to get hit. But in this case, it was probably the best alternative you could even think about, because it went at the right angle, and it was a hard hit. It was very. I guess you would say surreal, but it wasn't surreal. I was telling somebody you have instances like this, or like a lot less than this, where you feel it's a surreal situation. And I never felt that way. I knew immediately that it was a bullet. I knew immediately that it was at the ear.
Yeah. And
because it hit very hard, but hit the ear. And I also heard people shout, bullets, bullets, get down, because I moved down pretty nicely, pretty quickly, and we had bullets flying right over my head after I went down. So I'm glad I went down. The bigger miracle was that I was looking in the exact direction of the shooter, and so it hit me at an angle that was far less destructive than any other angle. So that was the miracle. That was.
I'm not sure which
that don't believe in God.
But he's here.
We got to all start thinking about that.
Man.
You have to. I'm a believer now. I'm more of a believer, I think, and a lot of people have said that to me. A lot of great people have said that to me, actually.
Facts.
But it was amazing that I happened to be turned just at that perfect angle
that day,
and all because I put down a chart on immigration that showed that the numbers were so great. I love that chart even more
maybe
now.
It's a sign. Maybe that's a sign.
It's an immigration sign.
You highlighted a serious issue, and at that moment.
That's right.
The bullet missed your, hit your ear, but missed your head. I mean,
the amazing thing is that the sign, I said, bring down that sign on immigration, and it was literally about 1/8 of a second where it would be good, and after that it was going to be a disaster, no matter which way you were facing. But it just had that perfect angle, which was exactly at this shooter. Very sad situation. Such a sad situation. As you know, we lost somebody that was great, Corey, who a firefighter,
And there's people
a
who
great
got the nerve
gentleman,
to
a great,
say that was
a great
scripted, that was
trumper.
planned.
Nah, facts though. It's disrespectful to even say. Like, even Destiny was wild as hell saying F them, F them. Anybody pull up to a Trump rally and get shot, I'm laughing at them. I was like, bro,
They said they deserved
wild.
that for going to a Trump rally. Like, you signed up for that almost.
Bro, that's what we be not really liking about these Democrats. It's like, bro, we accept y'all, but y'all don't accept us.
But even if you just look at the shot, like the margin of error that
Was really small.
bro. So to say that was planned or that was scripted is crazy.
It's like, okay, maybe they shot at him and it was just around him. Okay, but
They've interviewed professional snipers and even them
Damn,
have admitted like no way he's missing that shot. Like
Yeah.
that was supposed to hit him.
bro, for real, in no way he's missing that shot with such accuracy.
Right.
He was just a fantastic family and a fantastic man. And a friend of mine came up, Elon, and said, I'd like to give the family some kind of help. And I said, all right, that's great. He said, do you mind? I said, I don't mind at all. And he wrote out a check for $1 million, gave it to the wife. And, you know,
Ain't that something?
she said, this is
Same
really
rich
nice,
people,
but I'd
people
rather
be
have
trying
my
to
husband back,
demonize.
which is a nice thing for
Sure.
somebody to say, to be honest. She's great. The family is great. And we raised a lot of money for them and for two other gentlemen who are unbelievable people also. They were hit really badly. They thought they were not going to make it, and they did. The doctors in the Butler area, I tell you, they were
dark humor joke,
incredible.
but
They
damn.
saved the two, and they were really hit tough, both of them, equally. And we thought, my first question was, because I heard bullets flying over me, and I said, how many people were killed? Because we had a massive crowd there, a tremendous, thousands and thousands of people, and there was no land. I mean, it was all people. So I said, how many people have been killed? Because I knew there were other shots being fired. And they said, we don't know yet, but some people have been badly hurt. And I have to give the Secret Service sniper, they call him, or sharpshooter, but sniper, because he didn't know there was a problem. He's an extraordinary shot, obviously, and he didn't know there was a problem. And he was able to pick it all out within 5 seconds. And he used one bullet from very far away, I guess probably about 400 yards. The shooter was 130, but he was on the opposite side of the field and the podium.
Man.
And he saw the smoke and the flame from the gun, immediately recognized it, and immediately took a shot. And it was one perfect shot from very far away. And if he didn't do that, Elon, he would have. I mean, if he would have, a lot more people could have been badly hurt and killed.
Not gonna lie,
I have to take my hat off to him, because that's also a surreal. You know, he's been with them for 23 years.
He probably would have started picking people
he's never
off
had
just
anything
because of
like
the
this.
hysteria that
And
would
all
have
of
been
a sudden,
going on.
Bro, if I'm gonna lie, if the Secret Service didn't snipe that kid, like, bro, he'd just let off more and more shots to try to get him, and it'd end up hitting more and more people.
They found him with a lot of ammunition. He had plans of doing something crazy.
Yeah,
and there was explosives in his car as well.
Yeah, he had the means. What can I say?
So he was on a mission.
And he has to act, and it's a very tough thing to act and to be shooting somebody.
Should have liked the video. Appreciate
But
everybody tuning in as well.
He saw the gun, saw the smoke, saw the flame from the gun, very far away. Obviously has very good eyes. He's got very good vision, which I assume you have to have in that particular work. But he took aim very quickly, and they say it was approximately 5 seconds from long range, one bullet.
Damn.
If that didn't happen, because the shooter
Probably
had a
felt
lot
like
of
an
bullets,
eternity,
he had a lot of cartridges up there with him. So,
well, I mean that's clearly he was very competent in taking that shot.
I know it was moving in slow motion.
The attempted assassination. But I mean, there does seem to be some pretty significant failings elsewhere in the system. Like, there's just no way that, like, how on earth does a shooter get on a roof 130 yards away? That seems crazy. I think most people people are wondering how on earth could such a thing happen.
Well, I view it as two ways. There should have been nobody on the roof. There were people, because there were so many tens of thousands of people there. There were people that were seeing him, and there was one woman with a red shirt and Trump all over it, and she's screaming. And that guy's got a gun. You saw it probably. There's a guy up there with a gun.
I mean, it's like
and there were
I'm
reports of
I guess
citizens warning
I mean,
local police,
for my part, and I think probably
and I believe
many
Secret
members of
Service
the public
members
are
that
wondering
somebody was trying to
how
gain
the heck
access to the
are
rooftop.
Yeah, cop walked up there and he seen the guy, and I guess the guy spotted him, and he slid back down. Was like, "Hey, yo, he's up there," but no, of course, nobody responded.
Yeah, funny enough, you just gotta imagine that situation. You got the shooter Matthew on the rooftop. The only access is by ladder. You climb the ladder and he just points the gun at you. Yeah, what are you gonna do? You're gonna jump down.
Yeah,
Nobody's gonna just take that bullet to the face. He's actually, funny enough, he actually severely injured his ankle too.
Yeah, I did hear about that.
Basically people wandering by, pointing out there's a guy on the roof with a gun.
Yeah.
And they're seeing it, but somehow
Gone.
it's not being addressed.
Maybe, my friend, maybe.
That just seems crazy.
Well, they're going to
good
learn
on
from
that,
this.
Virgil.
The communication between the local police, who sort of had an idea, and then ultimately a man lifted himself up to the roof, could barely do it because he was pulling himself up.
Cool.
And
Yeah.
he saw the man with the gun. The man with the gun pointed the gun at him. He thought he was probably going to get shot, but he was like pulling himself up. And because of that, he couldn't get to his gun, and he fell down, actually very badly hurt his leg, his ankle. I hear very badly, but he fell down. And he did, from what I understand,
so that's Trump right there verifying that story. Like, so you got to imagine he's climbing by access of ladder.
I think
Matthew points the gun barrel directly at his face. It's like, oh,
quicker. You're supposed to be a very good shot.
Yeah.
My sons, Don and Eric, they can't believe what happened, but they said from 130 yards, a bad shot would hit that target almost every time. They said it's like in golf, sinking a 2-foot putt.
Yeah, it's not a tough shot.
It's not a long shot. The Secret Service person had the long shot. He had triple the distance actually. So it was a terrible thing. It's hard. I have to say this about the Secret Service. When I went down, and I went down based on
make sure I like the video. Appreciate everybody tuning in.
But other people also, because people saw this happen. You had so many people.
Crazy.
One of the miracles was that nobody ran. I mean, if a gun goes off, the crowd control people showed us this. When guns go off, and it does happen in stadiums at a soccer match or some kind of a match, everybody flees. They call it a stampede, like cattle. But everybody, and a lot of people get killed with those stampedes.
Yeah, Sean, didn't you peep out like nobody moved? Like, wasn't that kind of strange? At the time of the shooting?
It did kind of change. I ain't gonna lie, things did switch up a little bit. But man, look, when the shot.
No, just like about how the crowd didn't really disperse. There wasn't really like I talked about hysteria.
Oh, because he got hella fans, bro. They were trying to make sure bro was good. I ain't even gonna lie, bro. Because even when I seen it, I was like, yo, he good, straight. Like, hey, bro, get up, man.
Like, is he all right?
Oh God.
We had more people than you'd have at some of these matches or these games, and nobody left. You had a small group behind us in the grandstand, and that was full. And you look at it as it was taking place, and normally they'd be running. They didn't leave. They saw that I was hurt. They saw a lot of blood, and they saw that I went down. And it's almost like they wanted to be with me. Well, out front, you had thousands, tens of thousands of people. As far as the eye could see, you had people in Butler, as far as the eye could see. And a lot of press too. There was, many cameras on watching this. It's what makes it so different, because normally things happen that aren't good, but you never have a picture of it. Here we have all these cameras shooting it. So, sort of amazing. But one of the interesting things was that you didn't have anybody flee. You didn't have anybody stampede.
Sure.
Nobody. And there were some people behind me. They stood up and they're looking like, I'll tell you, you want to have them in a foxhole with you. I want to meet some of those people because it's so different from what you
die-hard support.
So I was down, but the Secret Service guys, there were bullets flying right over my head. You could hear.
You could, by comparison, it's actually funny. Like, Kamala's base is fair weather by definition, because she's just now showing her face. She's just now on the forefront of the campaign. It's been Biden. Up until 3 weeks ago. So Kamala's base is fair weather by definition. Like they just got here.
Yeah.
Like they some bandwagoners pretty much. Like they gonna go with whoever they put up.
Because she's a black woman.
Bro,
but
it's
Trump
hilarious.
supporters been with bro since
They rocking with him. They rocking with him.
Like he got years, bro. People done put in years of support for this man. Even when he wasn't president, there was like, bro, low-key donating for him to get ready to run.
Yep.
Like, what can I say, bro? It's that type of loyalty that you can only get through,
Trump's fundraising
being
is
a real
actually
leader.
is actually always been phenomenal for real. The fundraising on Trump's campaign has always been phenomenal.
The merchandise,
Man,
go whizzing, and these guys came jumping on top of me, and a young lady, Kate, were jumping. They moved so fast, and let me tell you, that took tremendous courage. Now there was a lack of coordination. There was, obviously everybody understands that somebody that building should have been covered.
In, though. Make sure to like the video.
And, I mean, I think that thing. I mean, looking at the aerial views, that building would be like the #1 spot for a sniper. I mean, it's like if you were to pick like what is the favorite, so if the goal is to assassinate, what's your favorite spot? That building. That building would be #1.
That would have been the spot.
It's like you can ask for a better location. Like,
no, that would have been the spot. You know what people think is when the local policeman, who, by the way, he really
spot with rooftop access.
He did what he was supposed to do. He couldn't hold on any longer. And then when he got his head just peeking above, this guy standing there with a gun at his head, and when he fell down, again, hurt his ankle very badly, but he was making the calls.
Okay, so
but what happened is the firing took place very soon. So what they think is that this guy ran to his site, which he had all planned out with the gun. He ran to the site and he started shooting fast, and maybe that's why he sort of missed. I mean, he got me, but it could have been a much bigger problem.
But he totally would have hit if you hadn't turned your head. So, there was a. It was a very near thing.
It was a miracle. If I hadn't turned my head, I would not be talking to you right now. As much as I like you,
exactly,
I would not. I would not be talking.
Maybe talking to you from another realm, perhaps.
Yeah, that's right. We'd be talking from a different place. But it was a very terrible experience. The Butler Hospital, they did such a great job. The doctors were so good. Everybody was so good. There was a mistake. If somebody knew, because people were hearing that, there was just a bad feeling that somebody was around. You know that story now. It's been And if somebody could have said, because they've oftentimes said, like there'd be a lightning storm or something. Because I've done, I think over 300. I think I did a lot more than that, but we did a lot. And oftentimes they'll say, sir, could you wait 10 minutes, please? Sir, could you wait 20 minutes? There's a storm overhead or lightning or something, right? And that happens often.
I guess it's.
And this would have been a perfect time for that to have happened, but it didn't. It didn't get coordinated. That was the problem.
I said that. I said they got to rebrand.
It was your actions in the
I'm no marketing strategist,
but fire, and what I find admirable there was that you can't fake bravery
mass
under
adaptation.
circumstances. The courage is instinctual or it is not.
And look how they spell it too.
Action. And so I just want to say that I think a lot of people admire your courage under fire there. And so
thank you very much. I appreciate it. I didn't think of it. I just wanted to get up, and I wanted to stand up. I wanted to let people know. I felt I was good when they were on top of me, covering me, actually, very much covering me, and very bravely.
They did.
But I wanted to get up. I said, I want to get up.
They did.
And they wanted, they have everything.
Dramatic,
they have
jump in front of it.
They wanted stretcher. I didn't like the stretcher. And I knew I was hit in the ear, but I knew I wasn't hit anywhere else. They felt I was hit sompace else because it was such a lot of blood, and they were sure that I was hit someplace else. And they were saying, "Sir, you know
that's what they were doing when they was covering. I'm like,
I was hit in the ear. I want to get up. Let me get up." And so I got up.
You're running still, right?
And the crowd didn't know what to think. I mean, this was so many people, and you could see they were confused. They didn't know what to think. And
I'm gonna take a pause for the sponsors, because have you heard of the recent advertising scandal Let me break it down. The CEO of Rumble, Chris Pavlovsky, recently released an email from Enterprise brand and Dunkin' Donuts. The email explicitly states the right-wing culture of Rumble is too polarizing. In other words, Dunkin' Donuts has a problem with right-wing culture and wants nothing to do with Rumble. Well, or with it or Rumble. So no right-wing, no Rumble. All right. So here's the solution. Stop buying the products that don't support you and start supporting the brands that support you. The competing coffee brand that we all need to get behind is Rumble's 1775 coffee. For a limited time, Rumble is offering a buy 2 bags of coffee and get 1 free. Go to 1775coffee.com and enter the promo code Duncan to get this limited time deal. Remember, go to 1775 Coffee and put in the code Duncan. Man, let's stick it to these people.
No, that's hilarious.
Man.
I wanted to let them know I was okay. It was very important for me to let them know that. And they went wild. You've seen the after. They didn't go wild when I got up because they didn't know was I alive. You really couldn't tell. When I stood up before the hand, before the, the fist in the air, they didn't know if I was alive. Nobody did.
Oh man!
And when I put the fist up, they were.
I mean, we know his name. Just about it.
Relieved and happy and thrilled. And the place went crazy. It was pretty amazing.
Yeah.
It was.
Who doesn't have a wiki?
Yo, me and Kier talking about the owner of Dunkin' Donuts, bro. Look this man up.
Inform us. Tell us.
Because we cannot find his early life, but we have found out. I ain't gonna lie. Yes. Dunkin' Donuts, a founder was one of them boys. One of them people from the Israeli homeland we love so much.
The brimless.
The terrible thing, but it was
incredibly moving. Yeah. Well, and speaking of the sort of slide that got you to turn that saved your life, really, was the illegal immigration slide. Maybe this is worth talking about that.
It was
that slide. That slide saved
your
life.
No, the illegal immigration saved my life. You're right, but they had to be at an exact angle. I mean, that's a great one.
They clowned it.
The incredible thing, though, when you talk about the odds, you had to be exactly at that angle. But the incredible thing is that the chart, I used it less than 20% of the time. It was just a moment. Yeah. It's always on my left, never my right. And it's always at the end of the speech. So here we have it. It's on the right, not the left. It's at the beginning, not the end. And even the people that put it up, they were unprepared. And they did a great job. They got it up immediately, fortunately. But I looked to the right, and the bullet came whizzing by, hitting my ear. So it was amazing. But when you think of the odds of that, and that normally you wouldn't use it. Normally I wouldn't have it, and then it would have been a very different story. It's very much, I say, an act of God. It's a miracle that it happened, and I'm honored by it.
Say somebody was looking out for Trump that day.
What were you about to say about illegal
God?
Oh, God. Because no matter how you feel about Trump, even if you want him to lose, the man don't deserve to die. Like, come on now.
And no matter how you feel about Trump and the situation, that bullet was supposed to hit him. Not going to lie.
Nah, you ain't lying, bro. That shit was supposed to.
Immigration before you were
Well, I was going to say how good the numbers were. By the way, we're going back to Butler.
And man, we're
going to go back in October. We're all set up, and the people are fantastic in Butler. It's a great area. These are incredible people. Like the three that, in the case of Corey, killed, and the other two, the families are. I got to know them a little bit. And
no, that is a crazy timeline. That is a crazy timeline to just imagine.
I want you to think about the timeline we be in if Trump got shot.
Wow.
How much the
everything else going on too, bro.
Bro, how much the whole MAGA group of low-key just be on their ass? Like, no, y'all did this. We know it's confirmed. You couldn't beat Trump. Your numbers were down. Bro, you could not tell Trump supporters nothing at that point. You damn near had to turn into a civil war. It'd be those who wanted that man in power versus those who felt like his death was just a coincidence. it'd have been all out war. I ain't gonna lie. That's why I'm happy it didn't happen, because bro, it was literally like we're now in the alternate universe to where, bro, we could have been all out of Civil War, bro. Me and you supposed to be outside with AK-47s with damn near Trump.
You're not lying. You're not lying. You're not lying. And I think the powers that be are still scrambling to come up with a plan B or going about the plan B like, fuck, that really didn't work. Like I'm saying, like, bro, that bullet was meant for Trump. They signed his name on that motherfucker, and it was meant for his ass. It hit his ear.
So congratulations, man. Welcome to the alternate reality.
Great, but we're going back to Butler.
We all here.
And I think I'll probably start by saying, as I was saying, prior to being so horribly interrupted, but
so rudely interrupted by an assassination attempt.
But the chart.
Some people have no manners.
Elon,
rudely interrupted by a bullet.
Chart that in my last week we had the best illegal immigration numbers, meaning stopping.
Yo, fucking effing Rambo is hilarious, bro. I would be lying to you and all 27 of our viewers, bro, if I was sitting here and try to say, oh, yeah, but Biden and Kamala has done a good job, bro. I'd be a lying-ass motherfucker right here, bro. I ain't even going to do that. Man, Trump 2024, bro. Let's just go. Let's go.
Week we had the best illegal immigration numbers, meaning stopping. It was at the lowest. You've seen the chart. It's become quite a famous chart. Yeah. But that was the lowest point ever recorded. It was a really, I was very proud of those numbers. And then you see what happened with these people, Kamala and Joe. You see what happened. They just let it go. I had remain in Mexico policies. I had all these different policies that was so good. Guys like Tom Holman and Brandon Judd from Border Patrol. These are all people that they've been on television. They says the best numbers we've ever had. We had so many different checks. Catch and release in Mexico, not the United. We had catch and release in the United States. We had it in Mexico. We had so many things. We had things where many people come in there, they have contagious diseases. We had everything passed. If you have a contagious disease, I'm sorry, but we cannot allow you into the country. So we were setting literally records, and all I was doing is showing that, and I use it sometimes, and in this case, I'm glad I used it. I can tell you that. But I was sorry. But they were fantastic numbers. But I'm going to sleep with that chart always. I'll be sleeping with that chart. That chart was very important.
The chart for a lot of reasons. The thing that saved Trump's life. If he had looked at that chart at that moment,
you're supportive of legal immigration.
Reality, guys.
But we also need to shut down illegal immigration and especially unvetted illegal immigration, because that's not the same as saying that everyone who's an illegal immigrant is bad. In fact, I think most people who are illegal immigrants are actually good, but you can't tell the difference unless there's a solid vetting of who comes across the border. Does that accurately represent your position?
I say it very simply. They have to come in legally. They have to be checked. Yeah. Because look, Kamala was the border czar. Now she's denying it. Everything that I do, she's saying she was strong on the border. We're going to be strong. Well, she doesn't have to say it. She could close it up right now. They could do things right now.
Then we strong then.
No tax on tips, and all of a sudden she's making a speech and there will be no tax on tips. I said that months ago. And by the way, they had just the opposite. They had not only tax on tips, but they hired 88,000.
Yeah, Kamala did steal one of Trump's, selling points. No tax on tips.
Yeah.
She came out and stole that motherfucker. Tax on tips. I'm like, wow. So you can't make up your own policies or have your own idealism. You just gotta rip somebody else's.
I mean, it sounded so good. She said, "I might as well cop that sauce." Like, let me write that in on my shit.
And many of them were assigned to go get waitresses and caddies and all of this.
That looks better than what I had.
They have a policy. They had a policy that was really going to go after you and really harassing people horribly. And then all of a sudden, for politics, she says, "My man," with what I said, which I think is terrible, and I think it's also hitting them very hard. These people are fake. Now they're also saying they did a good job in the border. We had the worst numbers in the history of the world, not of our country.
That's what I
There's
said.
never been a country in history.
Go look at it. Goddamn, what's her name? Nancy Pelosi was just had came out and said how She doesn't really support.
Unimpressed.
Yeah, she's unimpressed with the Biden administration.
Never was.
But if you go look back over the years, she said that Joe is our guy. I fully support him. He's what's best for America. Trump just said it best. These people are fake.
Oh God, that shit was hilarious, bro. I'm not even gonna lie. Big Money Pelosi, like I call it, because like I said, she's the biggest scammer in America. Bruh. Who's still scamming.
Has had a catastrophe like this. We've had, I believe, and I think you believe this too. You know, you hear 12 million, 13. I believe it's over 20 million people came into our country. Many coming from jails, from prisons.
They're going to inflate the numbers.
From mental institutions.
It's a lot of people.
A bigger version of that is insane asylums.
That's facts, though.
And many are terrorists. And I'll tell you what, they're coming not just from South America. They're coming from Africa. They're coming from.
Oh shit! You don't want to hear that one. It's like
stupidly and horribly bombing Israel October 7th. They're coming from all over the world. And you know, you look at. It's so sad, October 7th, because it should have never happened. Yeah. It's so sad when you look at Ukraine. It should have never happened. We have a defective government. These are defective people, and they're not people that should be running it. But where you see it the best is the border. Agreed. Because you have millions of people coming in a month, and then she gets up and she tries to pretend like she's going to do something. She had 3.5 years. And by the way, they have another 5 months that they can do something, but they won't do anything. It's all talk. She's incompetent and he's incompetent. And frankly, I think that she's more incompetent than he is. And that's saying something because he's not too good.
Yeah. No, I think it is essential to.
And her adding Tim Walz to the ballot ain't help it. That's what I'm saying. Like, they didn't add no new sauce, no new flavor to the Biden party or to the Democratic party.
They really just doubled down on what they already had going on because Kamala's a leftist.
Yeah.
Hardcore lib, as they would say.
God, you know, Tim Walz out here letting women have abortion all the way up to, I guess, the 6th.
Third trimester and whatnot.
Oh, Lord.
All this progressive ass shit, putting tampon Tim.
Tampon Timmy. That's what we're going to call him. Tampon Timmy, man.
Oh, man. And he want to call Vance and Trump weirdos.
It's like, dog, you put tampons in boys' bathrooms.
I wouldn't even have said that. Down. Like, bro, like, it's like throwing rocks in a glass house. Like, what the hell?
Dog, you let your whole city get, like, pillaged. No, your whole city get pillaged.
Bro.
Clap while it happened.
Said there was a beautiful, beautiful process.
Man.
That's American democracy at its best.
And when you use weird, it's crazy.
To have a secure border. I mean, you're really not a country unless you have a secure border, and
secure elections.
You know, absolutely secure elections. And so it's just essential to have a real border, or
man,
right? Can't function
in this day and age.
And our services, you know, our central services are being
overwhelmed. What's up?
But I, as we were talking about earlier, I think having a legal immigration process that is smooth and efficient and done well. And I, you know, speaking as someone who is
man. Make sure they like the video.
And I think that I mean, like one way to think of it is, who do you want on your team? You know, who do you want on Team America? And I think we want to just say, okay, we want to let in people who are gonna, you know, be great contributors to our society and to our economy, and you know, and who do you want on the team? And it's not to say that, like in my opinion, actually, I'd say like probably most of the illegal immigrants actually are actually good, hardworking people. That's my opinion. But some are not, and you just have this sort of adverse selection process where, you know, if somebody's you know, if somebody's like has a career in theft or robbery, I don't understand what's taken them so long to get here, because we're such a target-rich environment. I mean, you know, why aren't more people who have a career in, you know, bad things coming here sooner? Because it's a piece of cake to go rob, you know, houses in LA or New York, compared to other parts of the world. And in a lot of places in America, if you try to stop the person who's robbing you, you'll be arrested.
Bro, isn't it crazy though how the border really has been on Kamala's caseload, for the past 4 years as a vice president. But it's just like everybody forgets about that, or I don't know, they've managed to fool us or change the topic. And now she's saying how she's just going to solve the border crisis.
I ain't gonna lie, when I heard that one, every time I hear it, I damn near crack.
It's like, bro, they think we're fools. They think we're fools.
My nigga, we made you the border czar. What did you do then? Oh, no. You wanted to wait until you became president to do something about it for real? She said, no. If I solve it now, I won't have nothing to do when I'm president. It's like you.
It's like they lie right to our. It's duplicitous. It's duplicitous. Yeah. They lie right to our face.
Oh, it's right. I mean, what's happening with crime? And our police are so good, but they're not allowed to do their job. But I have to tell you, Elon, I hate to say, because
now that we're talking about immigration, now wasn't it crazy how kind of El Salvador is bragging about, oh yeah, we just locked everybody up. But instead of saying, oh, we locked everybody, you kind of lied and said, yeah, we locked everybody up, and then we pushed them out into America.
Right.
Is what you really?
Well, because they were bragging about their low crime rates.
Yeah, and bro was on Tucker Carlson saying that shit. That was a banger right there.
Mm-hmm. It was Tucker Carlson.
Okay, good. I thought it was
it's such a downer to say it. I hate to say it. I hate it, but you have a lot of people that just shouldn't be. I think it's a much bigger number than you think. They're allowing
these cartels, these bloodthirsty cartels came over.
Where they're coming from. You would have had all of them. As an example, Venezuela, their crime is down 72%. They're taking their drug dealers. They're taking, frankly, their prisoners. They're emptying out their prisons. They're taking their criminals, their murderers, their rapists, and they're delivering them into.
Go ahead, make sure like the video.
Castro
did well, he did on a much smaller scale. Yeah. It was a much smaller scale. But this is a massive scale because this is being done worldwide. But here's what's happening. Crime all over the world is down. Oh shit! And wait till you see the numbers that we have. This is migrant crime. This is crime that's going to be. Yeah. And I saw it today in New York, where someone was knifed, where they raped the girlfriend of a man that stood there watching in New York in one of the shelters, and started pulling out the knives. And bad things happened today. But this is happening every day. These are rough people. These are people that are in jail for murder and all sorts of things. And they're releasing them into our country, and they're telling them, if you come back, we're going to kill you. We're going to give you the death penalty or kill you. So they don't want to come back. But these are rough people. Yeah. These are criminals that make our criminals look like nice people. And it's horrible what they're doing. And she's in charge of it because, now she's trying to say she had nothing to do with it. And she's such a liar because she was called the border czar the first day, and it was on the headlines of every newspaper. She's the border czar, and she never even went there. She went to one location, which had nothing to do with where the problem is. She went in and out.
And did what most women do: post up, look cute, and
took a little couple photos for Instagram and dip.
Town out, man. Had to get in the camera one good time. She gone.
Photo up. She was getting a lot of pressure, but had nothing to do with the problem. But she was the border czar.
They said she went to the luxurious part of the border
them to get away with their disinformation campaign. Now she's trying to say that she wasn't really involved, and the whole thing is horrible. She was totally in charge. She could have shut the border down without him. He didn't know what he was doing anyway, so he wouldn't have even known what happened. You could shut the border down. He wouldn't even know the difference. But
man, appreciate everybody tuning in, but go ahead and like the video, you don't man. Have to call that like button, man.
The fact is, you could just call her. She was in charge of the border, and the border was the worst ever.
Yeah. It's simply not working.
No, it's horrible.
Whether it's a question of intention or competence, either way, we don't have a secure border, and we have people streaming over like it looks like a World War Z zombie apocalypse at times. And sometimes you got to sort of wonder, like, is it real or not? So because you see things, you're like, is it real? I went to the border at Eagle Pass, and I saw for myself in Texas, and I was like, okay, it's real. I'm like seeing this the whole time. I actually posted the video like just live. I just flew there one day and just to see, hey, is this made up or real? And I'm just seeing people stream across the border, and I have to say,
crazy
these people I saw did not look friendly. These people can look at my video and say, hey, these people look friendly. I don't look super friendly. So
these are people that Elon would not be the same man if he had to walk across the street and look these people in the eye. These are rough people. These are really rough people coming across. And I know rough people. And these are people that we don't want in our country. And, you know, the caravans are coming in and they're putting, and who's doing this are the heads of the countries. And you would be doing it, and so would I. And everyone would say, oh, what a terrible thing to say. The fact is, it's brilliant for them because they're taking all of their bad people, really bad people. And I hate to say this, the reason the numbers are much bigger than you would think is they're also taking the non-productive people. Now, these aren't people that will kill you. We have enough of them. But these are people that are non-productive. They are just non-productive. I mean, for whatever reason, they're not workers, or they don't want to work, or whatever.
People who just
and
like
these countries
mooch off of you and probably the government, like, and they sending them folks over here trying to get all our government assistance programs,
bro.
use our taxpayer dollars, and
that 2020 unemployment done fucked a lot of people up. But it didn't let people in a fantasy world. Like, damn, man, can I get that again? It's like, nah, G, get your ass back to work. Man.
Yeah, people was getting what, $600, $800, $900 a week just to sit at home.
Bruh. Won't happen again. Come on now, you got a nice long vacation. Now go ahead and put in some nice long hard work.
Are getting rid of non-productive people in the caravans in many cases, and they're also getting rid of their murderers and their drug dealers and the people that are really
Venezuela's version of those
people.
niggas.
And they're coming into our country at levels that have never been
niggas
seen
that like
before.
to chill and play the game.
And I saw an ad just before I got on the air. I'm walking over here,
Boulevard,
and I saw an ad
just
by
be outside
Kamala
all day, getting no money,
saying how she is going to provide border security. Where has she been for 3.5 years? For 3.5 years.
Yeah, no.
We have 20 million people for it. It's a terrible.
Yeah, I think this, frankly, I think this is a fundamental existential issue for the United States. And if we have another 4 more years of open borders, and it's going to be even worse with another 4 more years, it's going to be even worse than it's been for the past 3.5 years. I'm not sure we've got a country.
You don't have a country left. Elon, if they get in, you will have 50 to 60 million people from all over the world, not South America only. You know, we think of South America, we think of Honduras and El Salvador, Guatemala, and Mexico, you know, the 4. But it's not that. It's everywhere. They're coming in from everywhere. And I had to stay in Mexico.
Yeah, I think this is a super important point. Like, people, it's like, basically, when I went down there, I was like, well, where are people from? It's like almost no one was from Mexico.
No, Mexico less.
It's just the border. It's just the border with Mexico. But the people
coming, like, this behavior in Kamala is like been done before, where she kind of leaves things. Bro, there's been cases where she done held out on handing out the death penalty, or like letting somebody go, or actually letting a trial proceed some type of, public fame off it. That's what I'm saying. Get some, put herself up in the numbers.
Some clout.
You feel me? So it's like she's doing the same thing with the immigration. Like, no, why would I fix immigration?
I'm gonna let that build up. I'm gonna let that build up. So it's an issue. It catches everybody's eyebrows. Now, when I say, okay, well, if you vote me in as president, I'll fix the immigration issue. I ain't got y'all.
Okay, y'all gonna pat me on the head like a good little president.
Man, it's Earth, the rest of Earth, and America is only about 4 or 5% of the population of Earth. It would only take a few percent of the rest of Earth to overwhelm everything.
That border problem build up.
Elon. We're overwhelmed. You had to see the news tonight about New York.
Fix it 10%.
New York, and I love that place. And what they're doing to it is horrible. What they're doing to it, and all the courts do is they try and focus on Trump. Okay, then let's focus on Trump.
They let it get this bad to the point where, literally, like I said, if we fix it 10%, y'all gonna love us.
That's what I'm saying.
Like, bruh. Oh my God.
It's like, really? You let it get this bad? And then wait until what? Economic destruction? What? Civil distress?
Civil distress. Irreparable damage, pretty much. Man. Shit that can't even be unfixed. And then, bro, just to fix it 10%, I know, bro. It's just, why wouldn't we? This shit is so bad. We can't go back 100%, but bro, for them to fix it 10% of what it is right now, That's low key. They can bet on that. They can get a percentage of voters just for claiming that they can fix the issue off of 10%.
And if you ask me who's running America right now, who's running this shit for the past 4 years, I'll say be the same people running this shit for the past maybe 12 years. The military-industrial complex, those at Lockheed Martin, Boeing, and other places that make tremendous amount of money off us going to war. Those are who run us right now.
We did nothing wrong. I complain about a rigged election. Elon, what's happened is unbelievable. You have from Africa, from the Congo, they're coming from the Congo, and 22 people came in from the Congo recently, and they're murderers, and they've dropped them. They drop them. They take them out of jails, which is very expensive, you know, to maintain the jails. Although they don't do too much maintaining, I can tell you. But they take them out of jails, prisons. They take them out, and they bring them to the United States. They deposit them in the United States and say, don't ever come back or you're going to be executed. And they don't want to come back, but they won't come back.
Sure.
But they're coming from Africa. They're coming from Asia. They're coming from the Middle East. They're coming from South America. Well, they're coming from everywhere. Earth, and there are a lot of really bad ones.
It's just an everywhere on Earth thing. And it's just not possible for the United States to absorb, you know, everyone from Earth or you know, even a few percent of the rest of Earth. It's just not possible. So,
well, Elon, we're going to have, to finish this up, we're going to have the largest deportation in history of this country, and we have no choice. Otherwise, we're going to have a country, what they've done
heard
to
it
our
here.
country.
Trump said we're going to have the largest.
You know, in Venezuela and in some of these other countries,
you know what's funny is Obama had a huge deportation effort.
And you would be the same.
Nah, you know, I remember when, you know, the whole vitality thing where they're catching pedos and all that good stuff. You know, Myron's on it, Charles White was on it. Now, bro. Oh, shit! Those people are undocumented illegal immigrants.
You're right about that.
Like, that was the most scariest thing I realized about every time they caught these niggas up. It was an illegal immigrant who was out here trying to mess with kids. It's like, are you serious? You tell me this ain't a problem. That's why even Myron's like, yeah, we gotta shut this shit down. And, you know, shoot, I didn't want to hit him with the video, but the gumball video for everybody know. But
you would have.
Make sure to go check that out.
Venezuela has not not rid of all of them. They've gotten rid of about
yesterday's
really
video.
People. Their jails are about 50% put into the United States. The same with other countries. Some are at 30%, some are at 50%. They're all different. But the bottom line is they're all going to be at 100%. Why wouldn't you put 100% of it? And they're doing it right now while this third-rate phony candidate. Don't forget, I beat Biden. He failed in the debate miserably. And, you know, some people said, oh, gee, it's too bad. It's too bad he did so badly, or I did well in the debate. You know, the first night they said, wow, one of the people at CNN said that was the greatest debate performance I've ever witnessed. And then 2 days later, they didn't talk about that. They just said he was bad. But that's okay. That's the way I get treated, and I don't mind that at all. What I can tell you is this. We cannot have a Democrat. We cannot have her. She's incompetent. She's as bad as Biden.
There's way more pressure on Trump to beat that's on performance alone. Like, I always think that was unfair. Like, why are we taking it so easy on Kamala because she's a woman, bro? We gotta take it on easy because she's a woman since she don't need to be president. Because these world leaders ain't gonna take it easy on her. The situations around the world are not gonna get easier because the president's a woman now. Everybody, let's calm the fuck down. No, that's not happening.
Nah, they're gonna see it as a time for opportunity. If they thought Biden was weak, then what do you think they're gonna think of Kamala?
Bro, then. But the problem is, then why act for us to take it easy? Why can't Trump go in? Why does Trump have a higher burden of performance than this woman that's going for the same seat as him? Like, bro, where's the equality? The feminists should be mad. They'd be like, nah, Trump should be able to grill Kamala. What do you mean? Fuck that, she's a woman.
You know what's funny is this is the time for equality to really go out the window. We need who's best for the job. This ain't a time where we need an equity hire. We don't need somebody who can stand the chance for the job. We need somebody who has the best chance to fulfill the job. Like, don't get her in there on some, oh, well, let's try it out. Like, nah.
No, we need confirmation.
In a different, look, she hasn't done an interview since this whole scam started. And say what you want. This was a coup. This was a coup of a president of the United States. He didn't want to leave, and they said, we can do it the nice way or we can do it the hard way.
Yeah, I mean, they just took him out back behind
which
the shed
is the pulling funding way.
Oh, what they did with this guy, and I'm no fan of his, and he was a horrible president.
They bullied his old ass out the fucking seat.
And one of the reasons he was so bad, first of all, the Israeli attack would have never happened. Russia would never have attacked Ukraine, and we'd have no inflation. And we wouldn't have had the Afghanistan mess, if you think of it. Well, and we wouldn't have had Afghanistan.
Trump got more credit than some rappers. He's a felon and he got shot.
You take a few of those events away, and we have a different world. We would also have no
money.
Inflation was caused by
real money too, not that fake money.
Yeah, I think you make an excellent point here, which is that when other countries can, that are thinking about invading or doing bad things, when they're thinking about that, they're thinking about, okay, what's the American president going to do, and do they fear the American president, or is there someone they do not respect and do not fear?
Yeah, Trump said he's going to drill, drill.
They do,
but I mean. To my knowledge, and correct me if I'm wrong on this, the Biden administration just started doing the drilling.
Like, okay,
that's why there was such an energy crisis and a problem with rising inflation is because they weren't drilling. Like, correct me if I'm wrong.
That's one reason why we had a rise in gas prices, and the situation in Ukraine, we get 7% of our oil from there. So fucking up that situation over there definitely drove our prices up. The fact that we want to be on this, green energy so bad, and we won't drill in our own backyard is wild. But the climate change scam is forever strong. I don't get it, but hey, y'all be falling for it sometimes.
I think people are not.
No, it's a scam when they said you guys are emitting too much CO2 or too much poisonous dioxide into the area or into the atmosphere from
carbon.
Too much carbon from products that they gave us. It's from products that they gave us though.
That's what they want to give us.
Cars, all type of shit that they gave us and built for us and we bought. So it's crazy.
Bro, that's why I wouldn't give you a carbon tax, so they can tax you just for living.
Like, this shit is crazy.
It's like, you breathe out carbon dioxide?
Yeah.
Yeah, so like,
you exhale.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, you exhale CO2.
Carbon credit. Y'all basically charging me to breathe. Well, carbon taxes.
Not going to be, and they obviously have not been at all intimidated by Biden, and they certainly will not be intimidated by Kamala. And you have to really think of that in the context of global security.
Don't these companies get that too?
That if the American president is someone that evil dictators are scared of, that makes a huge difference to the security of the world.
So I had a good relationship with Putin, despite the Russia hoax that lasted for over 2 years. Just a hoax created by Hillary Clinton and Adam Shifty Schiff, some just bad people, just sick people, frankly. I mean, Schiff is a sick person. He's going to end up probably being a senator. It's hard to believe. The whole thing is hard to believe. But, they put our country in danger with that stuff, too. They actually, when they make up stories, and you have to fight your way out of it for a long time. But I know Putin very well. I got along with him very well. He respected me, and it's just one of those things. And we would talk a lot about Ukraine. It was the apple of his eye. But I said, don't ever do it. Don't ever do it. I shut down Nord Stream too. That was the big oil pipeline, the biggest pipeline.
You telling me this nigga Putin low-key's been lusting for Ukraine? Like, this is something he's been satiating over almost.
We kind of just gave him the ammo too.
Like, that was crazy.
Nah, because, bro, honestly, he could have lived in perfect economic tranquility with Ukraine without doing all this.
You're right.
But the thing is, he would be even better off if he takes Ukraine. So think about it like this. I get money just working with you, but I get all the money just taking everything over and everything for myself.
You're right. Or it's exactly as they said when Biden got into office, they seen it as a time for opportunity, a time of weakness. So it's really scary to think that they walked over Biden. They did what they did when Biden was in office, but now they want to elect Kamala?
Yeah, that's a big.
You think they're going to respect? Oh, no, Kamala is respectable. You know what I'm saying? You think relations and diplomacy is going to be better with Kamala in office than Biden?
Like, are you serious? I don't know, but hey, some people believe anything as long as you put a blackface on it.
Like, Kamala is not a statesman, like, at all. Like, she cannot handle political foreign affairs at all.
Yeah, once upon because Ukraine is rich in mineral. That's what I'm saying. It's like it just benefits them. It benefited them to work with them, with the whole NATO thing going on. But once that was out the window,
Once NATO
like,
impeded,
now I could really eat. Now I could really get money off the Ukraine. Now I could just slip in there and take it over because y'all didn't, keep up y'all side of negotiations.
and he was annexed. And he was annexed from NATO.
Yeah, but they told him that, look, we won't move an inch past Poland, I believe. We won't get into Ukraine. Ukraine will never be a part of NATO. What do y'all do behind my man's back? Try to get him a part
But what
of
even
NATO?
before that though, when Russia wanted to play nice, they wanted to play nice with NATO.
Yeah, but we told him no.
Exactly.
We told him no, but even then, even if he was told no, he still made that agreement with them. Like, okay, but we won't move.
We ain't gonna do that. We ain't gonna do that.
We ain't gonna move into your territory, okay? But we got you.
That's like China over here getting bases in the Texas-Laredo border or some shit like that, right over across in Mexico, right next to us. Like, come on now, we ain't letting that go down.
Oh, bro, I ain't gonna lie, they is messing with the farms. Like I said, they want us to be completely government, independent. And so they can, destroy our ability to move upward in the social class.
Plan in the world going all over Europe. I shut it down. Biden came, and then they say, I loved Russia. I was a friend of Putin. I loved Russia. No, he actually said to me one time, he said, if you're my friend, I'd hate to see you as an enemy. I shut down his pipeline.
Now, if you want to be broke for Russia, like that's going to happen in any economy, but it's going to be tougher in a
pathetic president gets in there. And the first thing he did, one of the early things he did is he shut down. He shut down.
He said, hey, look, man, I pulled up. I was pretty much saying, look, we were friends, right? Like, we ain't got to fight like this, man. It's best you just comply and we just all go our happy way.
But in reference to who?
I think he was either talking to Putin, Kim Jong. He has a lot of friends.
Right.
So I'm
foreign leaders.
To Putin at this point.
Keystone XL pipeline, which is our pipeline that would have employed 48,000 people, pipeline workers, shuts it down. That was, a massive job that Obama refused to allow. Yeah. I allowed it in my first week because it was jobs and it moved oil. And by the way, in a much more environmentally friendly way. It's underground. It's not a truck that catches on fire.
Nah, for real though. Like, we do have oil rigs like for days.
I remember there was a lot of discourse about that pipeline.
But they didn't want to open it. That's what I'm saying. Because, like, bro, open it. It'll help the economy. They're like, oh, no, we want to get out of green energy.
Because it wasn't environmentally friendly?
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
That's what I'm saying. Like, so it's an environment. As environmentally friendly over the people who can make money off this. Like, us being environmentally friendly don't make us no money at the end of the day.
Bruh. Self-hate. Huh?
Self-hate. Ooh. Oh, Sean Williams.
Or a train that catches on fire. But think of it. He shut down the XL pipeline, the Keystone XL pipeline. Yeah. He shuts that down, and he approves the Russian pipeline.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. It's like, it's inconsistent. Certainly. But I mean, I think it's just worth emphasizing, to listeners, the immense importance of whether the United States president is intimidating or not intimidating, and how much that matters to global security, because there's some really real tough characters out there, and if they don't think the American president is tough, they will do what they want to do.
I know every one of them,
and that puts the whole world in danger.
Elon, I know every one of them, and I know them well. I know Putin, I know President Xi, I know Kim Jong Un of North Korea. I know every one of them. And let me tell you,
all their numbers on speed.
People say, "Oh, this is terrible." He said, "I'm not saying anything good or bad. They're at the top of their game. They're tough. They're smart. They're vicious, and they're going to protect their country, whether they love their country."
Biden did stop the pipeline for green energy. Like, yeah, Biden's hard on green energy. Actually, the whole Democratic Party supported the whole green energy agenda. So yes, he did stop the pipeline for it. Yes, he did.
Probably do. It's just a different form of love, but they're going to protect their country. But these are tough people at the top of their game. And when they see a Kamala or when they see Biden, Sleepy Joe, they can't even believe it. They can't believe this happened. All the stuff that you...
So what was it? On November 6, 2015, the Obama administration rejected the Keystone XL pipeline project, citing economic and environmental concerns.
So Trump's not lying. Trump is not lying.
And the thing about it, you like how they add economic in there when it added to the economy, but they had to throw the environmental part there. See, The economic part don't make no sense, but the environmental part is what the one they want you
Well,
to
the
hang
economic part is they're going to try and scare you with the number it's going to cost up front. They're going to throw a big number and be like, oh, it's going to have to come from somewhere.
Any economist would hit you with the profit money.
Right.
It's like any economist would just be like, what are you talking about? Nigga, we're talking about oil. We're talking about $5 trillion company.
Come on, Seth.
Whatever billions we spend, we're going to get that back. We're going to get it back double.
But on the other hand, we're talking about media and how they mislead the populace.
I'm going to be real. They can only mislead the populace because niggas don't know economics or government or about government. I'm going to be real with you.
They presented this story one type of way, and they said it's too much, and it's going to hurt the fishies. It's going to hurt the animals. It's going to hurt the trees.
He do know Hey, look, bro. See, look. Now I got to get into this one point. He does know all the dictators, but you have to work with these world powers. Like, what do you think you got to do? To survive out here in this global economy, the big dogs are us, China, and Russia. Sadly, 2 of those motherfuckers are under a dictatorship. So, what do you want us to do? We have to play nice with these people. Like, you're ignorant if you think that, let's say you're a businessman, you got to make a deal with these people. Are you going to go into these people's office, insult them, and call them all types of names, and sit down and be like, okay, yeah, but I need you to work with me, though? Like, that's how some of y'all sound when y'all say, but he knows dictators, though. Why is he lying with Putin? I'm like, nigga, we have to work with Putin.
There's plans for a pipeline. There's plans for a pipeline, but the Obama administration shut it down. My bad. Go ahead, sir.
But though. So for that, he knows every dictator. I'm not sure if that was the point you were going at, but nah, he has to know every dictator. Like you have to know every world leader. And the thing is, you have to know the strongest of world leaders who are sadly dictators. Well, it is what it is.
Make sure to go ahead and like the video. Appreciate everybody tuning in.
Look at Israel.
Everybody
They're
in the
all
chat.
waiting for an attack from Iran. Iran would not be attacking, believe me. When I was there, and I say it with respect, because I think we would have been good with Iran. I don't want to do anything bad to Iran, but they knew not to mess around. Iran was broke because I told China, if you buy from Iran oil, it's all about the oil. That's where the money is. But if you buy oil from Iran, you're not going to do any business with the United States. And I meant it. And they said, we'll pass. Yeah. They didn't buy oil. Other countries, likewise. Sure. You want to buy, you're not doing business with the United States. And they were at a point where they had no money for Hamas. They had no money for Hezbollah. They had no money for any of these instruments of terror. And it was amazing. In fact, there were articles when I was leaving, which is hard to believe, actually, especially when you look at what's happened to our country. Our country is so bad right now. It's such a different place. We were respected. Think of it. 4 years ago, we were so respected to a point.
Somebody said Russia is a larger. Bro, who the fuck? Bro, did you see that one, bro? This dude man literally said Russia is not a major player. There's 3 states that have a larger GDP than Russia. I'm like, okay, but can Russia go into them states with larger GDPs and take them over militarily? Yeah, they can. Because Russia can do that to about 95% of the countries in this world. So yes, Russia is a major power. Economically, and with military power. Like, you forgot the military power part. It's kind of crazy how you don't see Russia as one of the strongest powers in the world, considering that we're trying to get everybody to dogpile on Russia. We're trying to get the whole NATO to dogpile on Russia. Then they're trying to get us, America, hop on Russia. Like, you telling me that we need all these people to take down somebody that's not a superpower? Like, you gotta make it, bro, make it make sense, man.
Fair. When I said don't buy oil, they didn't buy oil, but they had no money, and Israel would have never been attacked. It is zero chance. And again, I said to Vladimir Putin, I said, don't do it. You can't do it, Vladimir. You do it, it's going to be a bad day. You cannot do it. And I told him things that what I do, and he said, no way. And I said, way. And it's the last time we ever had the conversation. He would never have done. I got along well with him. I hope to get along well with him again. Getting along well with them is a good thing.
Yeah,
not a bad
I just kind of was
thing.
going into that point about Russia's GDP, and I mean, what do you expect? Russia's population is half the size of the United States.
Bruh. So you talking about GDP is
almost irrelevant.
Bro, technology-wise? Weaponry, bro.
They're still on par with us in every other strategic
their missile defense system can hit
category.
us.
I mean,
Bro, their missile system can hit us 20 times over. if they wanted.
With those hypersonic missiles.
Bro, that go right, bro. Like most missiles kind of gotta like when they, I guess, shoot them, they kind of gotta go over a certain pole.
Yeah.
Well, they got one that can go the opposite pole, and our defense system usually only guards for one pole, which I think is the north one.
Along well with Kim Jong-un.
I got some shit.
When I met with President Obama just before entering, it's a sort of a ritual, and I sat down with him and we talked. It was supposed to be for a very short period of time. It turned out to be a long period of time. I said, "What's the biggest problem?" He said, "North Korea." I had that problem worked out very quickly. It was nasty at the beginning with Rocket Man and, all the different things. Yeah. But all of a sudden I got a call.
With some epic tweets, by the way.
Yeah, they were epic everything. He said that he has a red button on his desk. I said, I have a red button on my desk too, but my red button is much bigger and my red button works. And then I called him Little Rocket Man of Little Rocket Man. Anyway, here's the bottom line. All of a sudden I got a call from him. And they said they want to meet. They want to meet me. And we met, as you remember, we met in Singapore. We met also in Vietnam. And I got along with them great. We were in no danger. But President Obama thought we were going to end up in a war, a nuclear war with him. And let me tell you, he's got a lot of nuclear stuff. Exactly. He's got plenty of nuclear. He can do plenty of damage.
Yes, I mean, it's because, people like...
Anybody who says Russia ain't a major power or one of the superpowers.
Because that's why I just don't get that.
I'm like, you ain't never just said that about big dog Russia, bro. Like, I'm all America. I love America. America over Russia any day, but we got to give respect where it's due, though.
Like, come on now. We ain't talking about these niggas for no reason.
Oh, God, bro. There's only 2 countries in the world we're afraid of, and that's China and Russia. We got to pay these
The world clearly respects these niggas.
Bro, every African country ready to align with these niggas. So, of course, they're a superpower.
Like Kim Jong-un, they respond
Never
to
Trump.
strength.
Oh, man, we got some Never Trumpers.
He and I had a good relationship. Remember I met him and we walked onto his land. Nobody ever walked onto his land before. I walked onto. I wouldn't say. Let's bring up Secret Service again. I wouldn't say they were thrilled when I did that. I walked onto his land, and it was an amazing period. But we were not in danger with him because of me. I always say that we have enemies on the outside and we have enemies on the inside. We have some really bad people in our government and people that are controlling of the people. I mean, I'd mention names, but I really don't want to give them the credit. But we have some really bad, and I say they're more dangerous than Russia and China. If you have a smart president, a president that gets it, we are not in danger from those countries because they need us and they need our help. I mean, we forced Obama, if you think about it, Obama and Biden, and Bush to a certain extent, in all fairness, forced Russia and China together. And if you're a history student, the first thing you learn is you cannot let Russia and China align. But then they also got, if you take a look, Iran, and they have North Korea. That's, they call it the axis of evil. In the old days, you had the axis of evil. Here we have a modern-day axis of evil. These are powerful countries, very heavy nuclear, which is the biggest threat. The biggest threat is not global warming, where the ocean's going to rise 1/8 of an inch over the next 400 years. And you'll have more oceanfront property, right? The biggest.
I really do need to go back on that Tucker Carlson episode where he was with that Asian dude, and he just debunked, he debunked climate change. He low-key debunked the entire thing, and it was just masterful how he did it because I'm like, yo, this shit is a scam, goddammit. Like, man, we've been tricked.
The biggest threat is not that. The biggest threat is nuclear warming.
Flood us all.
Because we have 5 countries now that have significant nuclear power, and we have to not allow anything to happen with stupid people like Biden. Biden did something with Russia. There was no chance of him ever going in. And when I left, and then after I left, they started forming big armies on the border with Ukraine, right? And I looked at that, and I thought he was doing that because Putin's a good negotiator. I thought he was doing that to negotiate. But then Biden started saying such stupid things. For instance, he said that it can be a NATO country. Now, Russia, for as long as there's been NATO, we're never going to agree to that. And we go right up front and say that. And we did things and said things through this president with a low IQ, very low IQ. He had a low IQ 30 years ago, by the way, but now he might not even have a IQ at all. There's nothing on the board
right
that goes this low. He said things that were so stupid that war had zero chance of happening if I were there. Zero chance. He was saying everything the opposite. Everything the opposite. And it's so sad because many more people have been killed in Ukraine than you read about. You don't read about how bloody it is and how disastrous. Sure. Hey, look, just in the two armies, you lost 500,000 people. And Ukraine's having a hard time. Ukraine, I don't know if you saw the article recently, and it's true. You don't hear the true story. But if you think about it, Russia's gone, Russia defeated Germany with us, and they defeated Napoleon. They've been around a long time. They're a big fighting force. Yeah. And it's very unfair. And Ukraine now.
Yeah, that whole World War II, Russia helping us fight with Stalin and all that. Yeah. There's some hidden history that I'd have to educate y'all on. But that's for another stream, man. We appreciate y'all for tuning in here at S.E.T Media. We like to raise the bar on content. Make sure to like and subscribe to the channel, man. We got 50